Hi, I'm Jennifer of Unset Ways, Yoga, and Mindful Movement. Today we'll do a gentle yin-based practice, pausing to notice sensations in our body along the way. Noticing how sensations change when circumstances change. And this is a very personal and gradual observation process. But this is a practice that can help you reconnect with your own body when maybe you've been overriding these signals or messages that come up in order to take care of everyone else. But it's your turn now, so let's begin with care. If you'd like to gather as many props as you'd like to have around you, I suggest maybe a couple of blankets, some large cushions, bolsters, or pillows, and maybe even a yoga strap or something like a long scarf can help. So let's start today face up on our mats with bent knees, finding our steadiness on the support of our surface below us. Take a moment here for a nice deep breath in and big sigh exhale. Bringing yourself into the moment. And then let's tuck our knees in towards our chest, giving them a little hug and rocking side to side. And pause in the center, allowing yourself stillness for a moment and a few breaths. And then let's lower our feet back to the floor, allowing a nice steady presence here. And we'll take our left ankle, crossing it over the right, allowing our hip to open up on the left side. You're welcome to grab behind the right hamstring or even use a strap or a scarf to ease in as far as you'd like, creating a nice stretch on the outside of the left hip. Find your breath here, and with a softened gaze or even closed eyes, again, find yourself in this moment here and now. Next, we'll bring our right foot back down to the mat and slide the left ankle down, allowing left knee to cross over the right. Slowly lower towards the right side, allowing a gentle twist with our body, bringing our gaze towards our left hand. If this position does not feel comfortable for you, feel free to stack your knees side by side or add any props under your knees or between your knees that feel better. And as you scan through your body, notice sensations that you notice. But if you don't notice anything, you're not doing anything wrong. Your body will signal when it needs your attention. Signals might appear as tension or weakness, heaviness or lightness, heat or chill in certain areas of your body. Now, slowly and gently, bring yourself back up to an upright position with your legs, untangling if necessary so they can stand side by side. And then let's take the right ankle, crossing that over the left. Find the comfortable position. And either with a strap or with your hands behind your left hamstring, bring your legs in as far as you'd like to create a stretch on that right outer hip. So for any signals that come up, don't worry right away about fixing any of them. But the more you practice, the more you can puzzle together these sensations, discovering where patterns may lie, or where certain things have changed and become different based on circumstances. And now let's lower our left foot to the ground, allowing our right ankle to slide down so our right knee is crossed over the left. And we'll slowly lower towards our left side with our legs. Again, untangle if you need to, and just stack your knees if that's more comfortable. And bring your eyes to gaze towards your right hand. Gently come back up to center, untangling, feet side by side. And let's pause here in stillness for just a moment. When you're ready, we'll roll to a side, gently pushing ourselves up to seated. And we're going to come into a butterfly shape. So we'll have our heels and feet together, a little further out from our hips, creating a nice big diamond shape here. Now, if you have low back tension, it can help to roll up a blanket or the edge of your mat underneath your hips, which creates a forward tilt of the pelvis. That takes pressure off the lumbar vertebrae, so it can be very supporting. As well, if you feel sensitivity in your hips and you'd like to support with blocks or pillows under your knees, that can be helpful. And you're welcome to bring in a bolster if you don't want to fold all the way to the floor when we do our forward fold. You could even set it up to just support you in a light forward fold. So find what you need to give you the most support today and play around any day. Some days your needs are a little different than others. So we'll sit up tall when we find our perfect position, hinging at the hips first, and then allowing ourselves to lower down onto our surface. We want to find a sustainable position where we can hold in stillness. This allows us to take time to connect with our breath. It helps our body to know that we're in a position of safety and not needing to call to action at any moment. And it allows our nervous system to relax in that way as well. And through each posture, continue to scan through your body, taking notice of where your tension lies today, and maybe taking note if that's different from yesterday or if it's consistent with recent times and recent influences of circumstance. Through your breath, allow yourself to soften in any areas of tension, if you can. And if not, if you need to take a moment to readjust with props or positioning, you're always welcome. And then once again, finding stillness in a more supported position for yourself. In your own time, slowly raise yourself back up to seated. You may like to keep your bolsters nearby. Ease your knees together. Maybe taking intuitive movements of windshield wipers back and forth, or outstretching your legs, giving them a little wiggle. And then we'll come into a dragonfly shape, so sort of wide straddle. It doesn't need to be too strenuous. Find something, again, easy, sustainable, that allows you to feel some sensation of stretch, though, on the inner thighs there. And you're welcome to keep that support below your hips if you do have any lower spinal issues. And again, we'll be doing a forward fold. So bringing in any piles of pillows or blankets or bolsters that you would like, if necessary. And then we'll find our center, taking a nice deep breath in, hinging at the hips, and lowering once again onto our surface. And once you've found, again, that easeful, sustainable position, making sure you're not holding tension anywhere, making sure your feet aren't flexed or forced into any position to be a wider straddle. Allow that to be something where you just feel the sensation but are not overly strained in order to do so. Make sure your head and neck are supported in a way that keeps that from any strain as well. You could be forehead down or supporting yourself on either ear, whatever is most comfortable. And when you're ready, slowly walk yourself back up to an upright position. If at any time you'd like to hold these postures for longer, yin postures are made for longer holds to allow the body a more gradual opening and relaxation. Some tissues take longer to respond. Connective tissue stretches more slowly than muscle tissue. So the more time you can spend in a posture is even better. So feel free to pause the video at any time that you have time to spend a little more with yourself. So from here, we'll get our bolsters out of the way just a bit, allowing ourselves to ease our knees back together and maybe bringing that into a windshield wiper side to side, easing the hips from their stretched posture. And from here, we'll come into sleeping swan. So if you'd like to have your bolsters nearby, you may like to incorporate those. And we can come to a 4-point position, kind of hands and knees. And then we'll bring our right knee forward. So posturally, you're welcome to have your shin parallel to the top of your mat, or you can have it angled at whatever makes sense for your body, whatever works for you. And then we'll try to have our hips both facing forward in a balanced position and lowering down. If you'd like to place a pillow under your right hip, that can be supportive. And if you'd like to have a bolster to forward fold onto, you can bring that in close as well to support your torso. So once you find your balance, let's slowly lower ourselves down either to the floor or to our cushion. Again, finding our ease. You may feel the stretch in the left front hip, and you may feel this stretch as well, or instead on the outside of the right hip. Notice any areas of sensation or tension, anything different from usual, or anything that may be the same that informs you of patterns of where tension holds in your body. Sometimes we push ourselves and override our signals for so long that we don't realize we're
piling up tension in certain areas and not spending time to allow circulation back in. And that can lead to injury or chronic pain and different things. So this practice is important to help inform us, where will I need attention? Perhaps you do need to fix something later. But right now we're just about noticing, starting to get reconnected with our bodies and understand our patterns and how we're responding to circumstance and our lifestyles. Slowly and gently bring yourself up and roll onto that outer right hip, allowing yourselves to go into intuitive motion again, maybe windshield wipers or anything that eases yourself from that hold. And then we'll switch sides, keeping any bolsters or pillows handy. And leading with the left leg now. Again, shin can be parallel or angled, whatever makes sense with your body. Keeping both hips facing forward. And again, supporting a pillow under that outside left hip if you like. And then slowly folding yourself down. Easing into the support of your surface on either ear. Sensations can always differ from side to side, and that's just based on sometimes our own body structure or habits that we've had even since childhood, patterns of dominant side use in work or play. And we'll always have a little imbalance, but these signals can let us know if perhaps one side needs a little more time to stretch and release tension, or just different information that we can take in that manner. Again, we're not looking to necessarily fix anything, just noticing how things differ or how things are reacting. Slowly and gently allow yourself to press back up, rolling onto that left outer hip. Again, easing your hips in any movement that feels soothing. So again, noticing sensations is the first step. To track, not override. Once you start noticing what feels familiar and what feels different,
you can start building more understanding and trust with yourself again. You can notice details instead of assuming that your body will perform in the same exact way as yesterday. And this will enhance your ability to respond with care. So let's remove our bolsters, or you can just make adjustments to their placement and ease back into Shavasana. Shavasana is one of the most important postures of our practice. It allows us closure and recalibration of the body following movement and different postural sensations. So find any support that you need, maybe bringing in a blanket or any pillows or bolsters you may like. And one more time, let's find our stillness, taking time to scan through your body, noticing any sensations after the practice, how anything has changed, or where you may feel still a calling of new sensations. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.